I just started this one early. Love and Monsters is an outstanding film, and Dylan O'Brien, as always, does a great job. I'd heard about this film a good bit of time before I actually watched it, and I do have to say, when you're dealing with a film that kind of gets internationally distributed by Netflix, you are a little bit concerned because they're generally in cinemas. But I was always excited just to see what was going on with it, because I love Teen Wolf. Dylan O'Brien is great in The Maze Runner. I love the American Assassin book series, which he also starred in as the title character, Mitch Rapp. But I knew what to expect from him, being humour and just general fun. But I hadn't expected how much I was going to enjoy this film specifically. The visual effects were outstanding, and it's very easy to see why it got mentioned and nominated in the Academy Awards. The monsters are all captured perfectly, and the emotion that is on display throughout is outstanding. You're even able to see it just through people's eyes at times, and the characters and CGI monsters' eyes. And the story is, of course, a little bit out there, and for some people that will remove the ability to enjoy it. I remember talking with someone after I saw Godzilla versus Kong, and they thought they wouldn't be interested in the film, and they thought I'd say it's a bad film. But you just have to be aware of what you're going into. Like, you're not going in to watch a masterpiece. This film is good for what it is. After the government sent missiles up into the atmosphere to destroy a comet that was making its way towards Earth, the subsequent shrapnel caused all of the animals on Earth to, mutate. And some of them just became gigantic and attacked the public. That simple, and they just drove people on the ground. So the population of Earth got severely depleted very quickly, and everyone lived in underground bunkers, which is where we meet Joel, who is Dylan O'Brien, and he's trying to find his girlfriend, Amy, who is Jessica Henwick. That he finds her over the radio, and he tells everyone in his bunker that he's going to go to find her in person again. And they all know Joel he's a big chicken. He's not gonna last. And they all basically tell him as such, but he decides to go. He decides to risk it all for love. Thus, love and monsters. But as Joel begins to grow into himself and becomes more comfortable with the abilities that he kind of discovers within, he's able to get a final standoff between himself and the creatures as he goes along, and it all just culminates into a journey of effectively self-discovery in a film that had no right to be as enjoyable and fun as it was, to the point that it did open the possibility for a sequel. And I certainly expected this film to just be a waste of a couple of hours. A good waste, but a waste. I was pleasantly surprised to find how much I genuinely enjoyed it, and do still harbour hopes for a sequel. The removal of humans from the surface allowed the monsters to flourish, but at what kind of cost? There probably was a world where the two could cohabit, but we never exhibited or worked on that being a capability or a possible future for anybody. The film is such an easy watch because the story is good, the acting is solid, but the visuals are so good that even though you know these creatures will never exist in real life, you still do feel a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. There's a large centipede you see at one point, and you can feel it crawling up and down your body, No. There's a massive crab, an off-putting snail, an ant, some sand gobblers, and everything just worked so well. The visual effects were completed by Mill Film Adelaide, and as the film was done on the Gold Coast in Australia and everything that we've seen, they did an outstanding job. And to be fair, I think Marvel should look into them, maybe, just sometimes, they're struggling with their CGI and their computer effects at times, but that's neither here nor there. Because I just felt that my body was infested at different times, even when, of course, that isn't the intention, but that's just the way it felt. For everything in this film to have worked as well as it did, honest to God, was just something I strongly did not anticipate. I appreciated it, I just didn't expect it. And I do think that perhaps we'll never get a sequel, just because of some of the characters and actors who are in the film maybe will not want to do something like that. But it'd be so good. It would be another fun time. I think not enough films are made these days just to have fun. They're made for either money or to make awards or to just tell a very serious story. This film knew what it was, accepted it all, and still managed to come out with an Academy nomination at the end. And I think that just is something that gets overlooked so much. A film should at its core be fun, and this definitely was one of those.